Hey, what's going on, guys? We're back with the next part of our Learning C# tutorial series, and today I decided we're going to go ahead and try and get streaming audio working. For those of you who don't know, web player games are they're trying to be as light as possible. In fact, later on we're going to go ahead and revise some things we have in here. Like, for instance, we have our sprites of just colors. We could probably draw those using GUI, or not even. We can still use meshes or sprites and just assign the color. This way we don't have to waste space using textures, because we can just use them, assign the colors through code, which could be useful for saving space. And the biggest thing, the biggest space waster is audio, because audio is a bunch of information that is otherwise useless. Well, not useless, but uses a lot of space. So we're gonna go ahead and make this public class, and we're gonna call him audio streamer. Originally, I'd wanted him to be static and not inheriting from auto behavior, but enable to have it use a routine. We need to wait for it to finish streaming. We need to have it. We need to use the coroutine functionality, which is only available to a mono behavior. So first, we're going to go through the whole boring task of setting up the static reference. This code should look extremely familiar for those of you who've been with me for the past 55 episodes. And I'm going to go ahead and get lazy here and, compound this into one line here. Why is GameObject not showing up? There we go. So we created a new GameObject and added the component all in the same line here, and it returns the type of audio streamer. And that's perfectly fine. It works just like that. Next, we'll make a void awake, and we'll do Alright, and then we're done with our singleton implementation. Next, now we're not going to have to pass in the URL every time we try and reference the audio streamer, so what we want to do is pass in a reference name, which will then be linked to the actual URL. So we're going to make a public static, and static because this will not change, dictionary of type string, comma string. I don't think we've talked about dictionaries before, but I'll give it a little rundown once we create this. Alright, first thing we're going to need to do is import the system.collections.generic, the same one we use for the lists. And here, what a dictionary is, it's pretty much like a list, except for it's a dictionary, so only one key can point to one value, and this is the key of type string, and the value is also of type string. So it's useful for many purposes, including what we're using it in this way. And we're going to default the first one to actually have it copied down to this guy, this URL, and it is it's just a free music download I found on YouTube. I'll leave a link in the description. In fact, that brings up another good point, as generic, for the most part, all the assets are mine. However, I got lazy for audio. I'm not super good with synthesis of music composition. So we're gonna make it a credit system as well for our game. And what I did is, here in my Dropbox, I just have this this uploaded file here, and you'll notice this type of OGG. It has to be of type OGG for a Unity web player to import. If it wasn't a web player, we could import MP3 or something along those lines, but for a web player, it must be OGG. We can copy this public link here, and if I paste it in, let's just show. Whoops. We have this HTTP whatever, and then we have this. So what we're going to use is all of the audio for our game will be within that folder, so we can keep the same string and then just add on the ending at the end. Okay, and next we'll actually create our streaming functionality, like a public IEnumerator stream clip, passing in a string ref name, and then the audio source to add it to. Audio source called source. First thing we want to do is make sure that the reference name we passed in is a usable reference name, so it has to be included within the dictionary. So we'll do if not refnames dot contains key, passing in the ref name. Then what we're going to do is we're going to throw an exception. So we'll do throw new key not found exception, passing in the message of ref name plus that ref name is not defined within the dictionary. Okay, and then what we'll do is we have to create this new object called a www, which is something for accessing something over the World Wide Web. Pretty self-explanatory. And we're going to have to pass in that URL. So what we'll do is, I hope it's still copied. Yeah, it is. Good. We'll paste in that base URL, and we'll do plus. In fact, what we're going to do, a good way of doing this, we'll do public constant string audio folder. Okay, and then in here we'll do audio folder plus ref names sub ref name. And that is similar to our list where we pass in the index, but instead of an index we can pass in that key, and the key can be used which will link to this guy. And what's useful is that we now, instead of passing in numbers, which we have to check and make sure everything, as long as we know that key, Maelstrom, then we'll get the Maelstrom OGG file back. Okay. Next, we need to wait for the that www to return or finish loading, and we will do source.clip equals www.getAudioClip. Bool 3D, we'll do false for now because we're going to use it for main menu music because it's the only audio that's large enough. For the rest of them, I'm going to keep in the game for now, unless we have a problem where we can't upload it somewhere or something along those lines. Bool stream, we'll do false because that's the stream. I said stream in here, but streaming really is playing it as it loads, which can cause buffering and things like that, and I don't want that sort of thing for main menu music, so we're going to load it all the way first, and then we can go ahead and play it. Next, we'll do source.play. Obviously, we're going to put in parameters for looping later, for streaming later, things like that, but for now, we're just going to keep it simple. And then let's go ahead and, within our start function, we'll do if audio, or rather, instead of doing that, we'll just make a require component. And then we'll do, as a test, we'll just do start coroutine, stream clip, passing in Maelstrom, and then this audio source. Alright, I need to restart the video real quick. Alright, we're back, and I attached the audio streamer to our main camera. We hit play. We have to give it a second to load because, or rather, add in that audio source. I didn't require it because I had added it on before I made that change. But we need to give it a second to load here. It is a 6 MB file. So once this has been assigned, we'll tell that it has been loaded. And there we go. And it is playing this sound here. You'll notice actually, that's a good point. As soon as I click out of it, the sound stops. So that just means that we have it set to only play the game while. Okay, that sound is starting to get louder than me. We have it set to only run the application while we're actively in it, and we can turn on run in background in here somewhere. Maybe it's for standalone. Well, it's in the settings somewhere, but what I was trying to say is we like it that way because for a web application, the guy could be, you know, switching tabs or doing whatever, and we want the game to pause, essentially, when he does that. So we've gone ahead and got our audio system working. We can stream our audio, and so that's that. I'll see you guys next time.